Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Cheers for clicking on the video, appreciate it as always. So I'm just out for the day today. I'm not staying, I've got a really busy weekend because me and my missus are going out in the camper van for the weekend down the Suffolk coast, might push into Essex, I'm not sure yet. So I thought I'd come and record a kit video, just what I carry for bushcraft wildcamping and stuff. The idea of the video is not to get you guys to buy kit, you know, there's no plugs or sponsorship or anything in this video. It's purely just so you can see what I take and take some inspiration from it maybe, or people that are new into this. Gives you a bit of an understanding of what people take when they come out and do this sort of stuff. And I'll show you how I've packed it, why I've packed it, I'll talk about why I use it and then put a few examples in there as well. So yeah, cheers for sticking with me. This video might be a little bit boring for some of you that are all fully kitted out and stuff, but there you go. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. So let's get into the video then. Okay, well first off then we'll start with the rucksack. For spring and summer and most of autumn, I use my military issue MTP daysack. It was issued to me for patrols in Afghanistan. This is the reason I use this. I think it's 45 litres in the main compartment, and I think each jet sack makes up an extra 15 litres. I'll put the correct information in the description just in case I've got it wrong, if you want to have a little scroll down with that. It's an absolute beast. I've done many miles of this, over 1,000 miles of this rucksack. It's got a couple of compartments, one at the top which I keep my knife and stuff in, and then you've got one underneath the lid which I just keep my torch and a couple of other bits in there, toothbrush and stuff like that. You can get them on eBay and surplus stores, not sure of the cost, but it's a MTP pattern with CS95 rocket pouches. So first thing I normally do when I get out here is get my shelter up. You can never predict the weather that good. So getting somewhere to keep away from the rain is my first point of call. So I keep it in my side pouch, it's readily accessible. I don't have to rummage through my bag to get to it. It's the first thing I grab. So that brings me on to the DD 3x3. Most wild campers or bushcrafters know about this tarp. They probably are the best in the business, to be fair. So under the tarp in the jet sack or rocket pouch, I keep my bungees. It's a bit controversial in the wild camping world. A lot of the purists will only use knots. I was always taught in the military with bungees, they're quick and easy, there's no faffing around, you can keep your gloves on. So I'm a bungee man, most of you know that already, dead simple. I just got these off Amazon. I think I got the longest ones or the second to longest ones, I can't remember the cost of them, but they weren't too expensive. Never done this one before. I think it looks pretty good. Next up then, in the other jet sack, I've got my issued basha, which I like to use as a ground sheet, but it also works as a stretcher, hammock, tarp on its own. Good bit of kit. I like putting a ground sheet down because when the ground's wet, it's somewhere dry. I have it as a bit of a shoes off zone, or I try to anyway. And yeah, it's just good for stopping the bugs getting on your skin and stuff like that. I'll put the size of it in the description, but again you can get it from eBay or surplus stores. This is a CS95 pattern. I've got a MTP one as well. Next up then, I like to get my sleeping arrangement set up because you're more motivated at the start of the day. The more beers you have and the later it gets, the less bothered you can be to set it up. Again, I use an issued foam roll mat. I was issued a blow up one, but it failed on me 2 months into a 7-month Afghan tour, so since then I've always sticked with the foam. I know there's good blow up ones out there, but I just like the foam. I can sleep anywhere, so it's comfortable enough for me. So in the main compartment then, the next piece of kit I come to is here on the top, purely because it's fragile. It's not one of the first things I use quite clearly, but it's the safest place for it. It's my fuel hand lantern. I use paraffin for this, and it makes the evenings look beautiful. It's really good for photos as well. And it just has a nice vibe about it. Makes the camps feel epic. My sit pad, bum pad, kneeling pad, Never knew I needed one of these until I had one. As I always say, I'm always crawling around on my knees, and then someone offered to send me one of these, so I use it every time I go out. Perfect little bit of kit. Alright, moving on. I've got all my kit set up like this just because it packs really lovely. I'm well versed in packing this daysack, so I know how everything sits right. So next up I've just got my pan, just a cheap pan. Some people like to remove the handle, but it fits in here perfect, so I've just left it on. Just chuck it on the ground sheet. Train. Don't know why I'm looking, I can't see it. Alright, next up then, I'll keep this in my daysack religiously through all the seasons, because if I don't use it in the winter, I'll still use it as a pillow in the summer. So, I've got a canoe bag, dry bag, with all my warm kit in here. I've got my rab jacket, my softy trousers, a spare pair of socks. Got to keep your warm kit dry. So in here I've got my little camping pillow. It's just a cheap one I picked up at a services, I think. This thing's an absolute godsend. I've had this since 2012. It absolutely stinks. It's got a couple of rips and feathers and stuff coming out of it. There's some super glue on there. But I love this jacket. Expensive bit of kit, but really worth it. In the winter I sleep with that on, and my issued softy trousers. A lot of people like these. The jacket I got from Cotswolds, I think, and then again these are issued and they're reversible. You can have them as the tan side or the green side. Keep a shemag in here. This was sent to me by one of the subscribers, thank you very much. Always keep that in there. It's good to get away from the flies, and also it's an extra layer for warmth in the winter. Spare pair of socks for the morning, always worth having. Or if your feet get wet, you want to put dry socks on for bed. You don't want to go to bed with wet feet. And then I keep a head torch in here because it's nice and dry in this bag. Little trick for the head torch: turn one of your batteries around, stops them running out so soon, and then flick it around when you need it. It's always nice having a good pillow. Alright, next up's the sleeping system then. I normally have an MTP bivvy bag, most of you will know this, which is waterproof and windproof. Today I've got the 95 bivvy bag. I'm really sorry if some of you might be sitting there bored stiff with this one. I know kit's not everyone's thing. It's not really my thing, to be honest. Some people get really excited by kit, but it doesn't really do it for me. It's just the tools to do the job, you know. It's the being out here and being in nature what I love about all this more than the kit. Don't get me wrong, it is nice to get new kit, obviously, but some people are proper kit geeks, aren't they? Inside here, I've got my Snug Pack jungle bag, sleeping bag. I think it's only comfort down to like 7 degrees, but if you've got a warm kit you can double up and be really nice. It's just super lightweight, packs down real small, that's why I use it, but I only use it in the spring and summer really. I'm back to the Corinthia 4 Seasons bag for the autumn and the winter. So with the ground sheet, the foam roll mat, the bivvy bag and the sleeping bag, you've got a really insulated sleeping system. I never really get cold in the night. Is anyone else a Woodford's Wherry fan? It's an amber ale, 3.8% by Woodford's. It's a low percentage, but this stuff's like absolute nectar. A supreme champion beer of Britain. My absolute favourite. Okay, moving on then. I've got a little pouch on the underside of the lid, which I keep as like my bits pouch, if you get what I mean. I know from using this bag that under here doesn't get wet at all. It's got plenty of layers covering it. So it's just like a little netting zip pouch thing. Got an old tent peg bag in here. I keep a second head torch, because you never know. Got a little bit of hand sanitizer, a little travel toothbrush, travel toothpaste, and then recently and for the summer, some Afterbite. You just dab it on your bites. I don't have anything too luxurious. And then also some foot spray, foot powder spray. I like spraying it on my feet before bed. We're moving on to the firelighting and foraging bag, which is quite near the bottom of my daysack. Got this little bag, Claymore bag, which I got from Rugged Designs. I've got a lot of stuff in here, to be fair. Right, boss? Where you heading, bro? You don't know, do you? Just chilling. So inside the firelighting and foraging bag then, I've got a little tinder pouch with some birch bark, some King Alfred's cakes, some stuff like that. Nice little leather pouch which was sent to me by Pagan Outdoors. Thank you very much, mate. Got my fire steel, my ferrocerium rod, just on a little paracord lanyard. You see me use this all the time. It's a great bit of kit. I think it's the largest one they do. It's by a company called Bayite. I got it on Amazon. You see me use that a lot. I've got another torch, which I don't really use too often, but if I'm going walking around the woods late at night to find more wood to burn, then I normally take this one as well, just to scout into the distance. Second knife, you haven't seen the first one yet, but this is the Puko that I've been using by Marmaduke with a nice Scandi grind on it. Loving that bit of kit. Plenty of more birch bark and stuff. I'm a bit of a birch fiend, I take it whenever I can get hold of it. A piece of fat wood, high resinous bit of pine. Got my extendable blowpipe for blowing on the embers in the morning or late at night. Really handy bit of kit. Couple of pieces of flint, 2 or 3 in there, with a piece of steel. Just another way of firelighting, just hitting the steel off there into a bit of char cloth or something. And then I've got some carabiners and some chain and a little hook. If I make a little pot hanger or a tripod or something, works really well for that. I'm not really too fussed about weight. I'll just carry whatever it weighs. I'm not a long distance hiker or anything like that, so I'm not really too fussy. This will be different for everyone, by the way. As I said at the start, this is just what I carry. A lot of it's interchangeable. There's other bits of kit that I use that you won't see today. It just depends on the camp, really. But as a go-to bag setup, this is my go-to, really. This is the kit that I normally take with me. But there'll be a lot of variables for yourself, depending on what sort of camping you do and where you go and stuff like that. Moving on then, got my cookser, which I bought from Mr. Wild Wales, which is nice to have a little ale in the evening. Got a couple of books. I've shown you these before. It's the Wild Food UK Foraging Pocket Guide. I really love this book. And then just the Collins Gem All You Need to Know Book of Trees, which is just a Collins Gem book, so it does what it says on the tin, you know. And then at the very bottom I've got my oak slab, which my friend Ben from work made me, gave it to me. I use this as my chopping board for my veg and prepping my meat and stuff, which is always handy. And then just a bit of paracord at the bottom, multiple uses. This one's got a little fire strand in it, so if all else fails with lighting the fire, you can just light one of these. It burns like a wick, which is really cool. So that's the bag, the main compartment of the bag empty. I've just got my knife in the very top. Depending on what I'm doing, I'll put this on my belt as soon as I get to camp, if it's a real bushcrafty based one, or it's just there if I need it, you know. And then someone sent me this, which is a mozzie repellent. It's pine tar oil and beeswax, and I think it's Swedish. Available on Amazon. Nordic Summer it's called. But it smells like a World War II museum. But yeah, it's pine tar oil and beeswax. I'm yet to try it, as you can see. Hopefully that works. I'll use this next time I'm out camping. Moving on then, something else in my side pouch is my Cover Cure hammock. If you've watched my videos, you'll have seen this get used a lot. £20 on Amazon, nice and cheap, but it does the job. So I keep my leather gloves in the side pouch as well, for when I'm building or chopping wood and stuff. And then in the other side pouch, which I keep my 2 tarps with, I've got my billy can, the Zebra billy can. It's a 14cm one, bought it off Amazon. Great bit of kit, good for some one pot cooks. Which just leaves the axe. I tuck it behind my side pouch. These zip on and off, and they clip at the bottom and the top. So I just open that up. There's a little pocket here at the bottom where I put the axe head into. So it's a Swedish axe. It's a brand called Hultafors. This is their premium forest axe, which I use all the time. It's a wicked bit of kit. It was either going to be this or the Gransfors Bruck forest axe. and I ended up going with this one for no particular reason. Kind of just like the shape, I guess. I've got an overstrike guard on it as well. If you miss the wood, it's less damaging to the handle on the axe. It's made of hickory, the handle. Wicked bit of kit. There's literally red ants everywhere. I didn't clock them earlier, but I've been bitten a few times by them. So that's pretty much it for the kit. I bring my camera bag as well, which has got my lenses and stuff like that in. But one thing that I do find is really handy, I've got one of these power banks, which I got off Amazon. I can't remember the name of it. I'm always using this, just lives in my camera bag with my camera gear. Always worth having if you want to keep in touch with people and stuff. So you've seen how full my daysack was. Now I know for a fact from packing that daysack so many times, I couldn't fit all my food and vegetables and meat and beer and all that sort of stuff in there as well. I can fit a few beers and some snacks and stuff, but when I'm cooking proper meals out here, as embarrassing as it is to say, I just take a bag for life with me. I can put all my beers in there, all my food, and it don't look pretty. That's why I never show it on camera, but it's just an easy way of carrying all your stuff. It's a little bit Instagram versus reality with the bag for life, but it doubles up as a rubbish bag, and I can carry other people's rubbish home with me as well if they can't be bothered to take it. So it's just practical. So what's missing from the kit today is my first aid kit, because I'm replacing all the plasters, and also my Stihl turbo cut saw. But apart from that, I think that's about it. Let me know in the comments some of your setups. It'd be really cool to hear what you carry, or if you think there's anything I've missed, would be pretty cool. Oh, toilet roll as well. I normally just grab that from the house on the way out, same with spices and stuff like that. So if there's any of you still left watching this, thank you very much. Again, like I said last week, if anyone's going to the Great Outdoors Festival next weekend, I'll see you there. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch up with you soon. Look after each other. Cheers for watching. Peace and love.